All right. And we are live. The last word, LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Special guest. So we are not going to waste any time. E, how you doing real quick?
Doing excellent. GCX was amazing, but we got a special guest. Travis, how you doing?
Good. GCX, Tom.
Woo! Good to see you guys.
All right, let's get this thing started. Let's get this thing started. Here we go. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 202. Tonight is a very special episode because we are joined by one of the wizards behind the scenes of Destiny 2. Like many of us, he has been playing video games since he could sit upright. From Castlevania to Counter-Strike, his tastes were varied, but it helped him find his path in life. This man started his journey making games back in the PS2 era with the world's favorite web slinger in Spider-Man 3. He has been an integral part of Day One Studios, Robomoto, and even EA before he landed at Bungie more than 10 years ago. Those who have worked alongside him have nothing but praise for his enthusiasm, knowledge, and passion he brings to every studio he has worked at. In his 10 years at Bungie, we have this man and the many teams he has worked with to thank for Destiny 1's Moon and Mars destinations, the opening missions in Destiny 2's Red War campaign, the 3-week cycle in the Dreaming City, and seasons of Dawn, Opulence, Arrivals, Chosen, Splicer, the 30th anniversary, and now Season of the Haunted. So let's welcome a true hunter at heart, a Boilermaker from Indiana, one who enjoys a wide variety of movies from Spaceballs to Everything Everywhere All at Once, a man who has a wide variety of food tastes from kimchi as a snack to a can of sardines with lunch. He draws inspiration from all sorts of games, but even franchises close to my heart, like Zelda and Mario. It's been quite a journey for this man who is a fan of Bungie as a player and completed the Halo campaign in one sitting, to recently getting to drop the bomb of news as a developer at the same studio that the beloved Gjallarhorn was coming back to Destiny 2. So let's hear it for the one, the only creative lead at Bungie, Tom Farnsworth. How you doing, sir?
Excellent. That's hard to follow up there. That's a great intro. Like, you guys are really good at this. And no, it's really great to be here. And I've been at Bungie a little while now, or just a few years here.
Minute.
And just a minute. And I really want to thank you for inviting me. Let me be here today to talk about Season of the Haunted and a little bit about myself too, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, first thing I did want to start with before we get into the seasonal stuff is I just kind of want you to explain to the audience and everybody who hears this what it is you do at Bungie as a creative lead and, maybe a couple steps along the journey, but what is your role at the company, at least for now?
Yeah, so currently my role, I'm a creative lead on our seasonal team. The team is codenamed Vanguard, and we have two teams, Alpha and Omega, and I'm the creative lead for Vanguard Alpha. So basically, I take our business goals, our kind of creative leadership goals, what we think players are excited about, what y'all really want out of Destiny, and what we're trying to make you happy with what we're building, surprise and delight y'all, and then what the team is excited about, and trying to find that intersection between what can we do, what can we afford to do, and what are we really excited as it creatively put together for y'all.
Awesome. Nice. So, we gonna get right into these questions.
Yeah, you want to take it off there, Cog, with the next one?
Yeah, let's jump off, man. So, you're this huge veteran in Bungie, 10 years in the game, and obviously Season of the Haunted is here. But what I want to talk to you is kind of like the annual expansion kind of versus the seasonal releases, and kind of what the challenges you face. Obviously, you guys switched to that model, and as far as like the challenges as far as trying to make enough content, and also like does the DCV, the Destiny Content Vault, become a factor when you're making seasonal content?
So I'll start with the challenges for the annual versus the seasonal. So the annual, we've got obviously a team that's devoted just to that, and they're kind of like off planning that. And I think in terms of the seasons, our biggest challenge with these, we're on the seasons team, is just trying to line it all up, right? They've got this, they're kind of like the blockbuster movie, and we're kind of like the serial TV show. And we have to really work with them to line up what that through line is for the year. That takes a lot of work. It's really taken us, I think, if you look past the past 3 years, it's only since season 13, I think you all started to really feel Bungie's got this plan. We're sitting down, Caiatl and all this makes sense. And I think this year it's been even stronger, right? We've got that was really strong handshakes with those teams, and the narrative team is just kicking butt, which is awesome. And so that's really been something that it's taken a number of years for us to get good at. And I think we're pretty secure in that space now. In terms of like the content vault side of things, right? I think there's a few ways you can look at that, right? There's like raids, which we just kind of like, we pull them out of the vault, we upgrade them to match the sandbox. So the Destiny 2 sandbox now is different than the Destiny 2 sandbox when it started. For for those of you who've been here with us, like, you know, dual weapons versus like Solar 3.0 right now, it's a pretty big delta. So we have to do a lot of updating and work and to bring those things out of the vault. Where I think if you look at like season 17, what we're doing is we're kind of like we're not really bringing something out of the vault. We're like remixing or evolving something, right? We want like that's more like the live side of things where we want to evolve the world, and we want to take something like the Leviathan and use it to tell a really cool part of the story. Like, you know, Callus is back. Our narrative staff and our team like came up with this idea for Presage, right? Many seasons ago in season 13. That was like an idea that came from the team. That did not come from me or the creative leadership team. Like our writers and the designers in a brainstorm were like, what if we did something that was like Event Horizon? What if the ship came back wrong? And that was Presage. And then that became, you know, that mission. And then now, like a year later, it became a season. And that's one thing I really like about working at Bungie in the creative process. And like from that idea, then we were able to look at like, oh, what if Leviathan came back wrong? What if like Leviathan was haunted? And so I think that's just kind of around that backup. Then it's like, yeah, we're going to pull things out of the vault and update them. And we're going to also like find really cool ways to evolve the world that makes sense for where we're going with the narrative.
So, Travis?
Yeah, so between seasons, we've had lots of different types of events and lots of different types of content from, you know, our unmatch made public events kind of that you guys did earlier seasons to stuff like Expunge and Severed and the Leviathan Patrol. So we've seen lots of different types of seasonal content. What decides for your team kind of the scale of the season? Is the limitation how much time you guys have? Because obviously that's a factor with the fact that you guys have to roll these out so frequently. Is it thematic elements where you're really just doing whatever you need to serve the story? Or is it something else that players don't even really know about or take into consideration?
I think anymore we've been trying to like plan things out longer for just to give the team the time it needs. So we're not reacting. We're like, you know, we're building to a plan. And that means we're kind of looking at like each season, like next to the next, so we can have some contrast and variety. I think like at a high level, at a lower level, we also kind of have these, you know, frameworks that we've built, like, you know, like a cool 6-player thing, and then there's Battlegrounds. And there'll be times like season 17 where we do something new, where we try to do like a seasonal destination, and we take a risk, and we try to build a new loop wave like we have, where like free players can go to the destination, they can do the public event, they can get opulent weapons, but paid players can also do kind of a weekly mission like we've normally done. So there's things that are familiar there, and there are things that are new. And I think you'll always find that like we're going to be trying to straddle like I think as you mentioned, like we're always trying to balance like what is new versus like what we're building on from the past. But I think if you like season to season, it might not seem like much, but if you step back and look like 2 or 3 years ago, like we've evolved a lot over season to season. And like we didn't even have seasonal storytelling like we have now until like season 11 was like the start of that. And then, you know, then like the best we could do was, which was great at the time, we had the Eris moments where you would go to the tree and you would talk to Eris, right? And that was our first little like, oh, what if we did this every week? We did a little story beat. And then season 13, just 2 seasons later, we're like, what if every week we had like a serialized story like Mandalorian, where every week I'm excited to log in. And I think, so you're going to see like incremental changes, and every once in a while you'll see a big leap where like all of a sudden you're like, oh, aha, here's something that's new. Yeah. So it's,
and one of the things that you guys tried out was doing those live events, like when the space station crashed into the tower and we were all there watching it kind of float down.
Yes.
We haven't seen that since. Was that an idea that you guys hope to pursue and the moment just hasn't arrived yet, or was there a reason you kind of left it off the table recently? Or
I think part of it is we have to find a moment where it makes sense for the story. And like there really needs to be something of that scale, like where we can set. It's hard to set up like world-ending events over and over and over, and it's not like it's tiring too. And
The world ends again.
No, and we run into this every season. It's like, who's the bad guy? It's like, no, it's like what if we did a political story this season and it was about the Fallen? Like, so I think
that was a great season. Yeah.
Shout out to Lakshmi. She was out here. She was.
Lakshmi.
She had her ideology.
R.I.P. Lakshmi. Yeah.
Oh, her voice actress is she's so good too.
I love her. Oh my
Shura. She's man. Yeah.
The raspy. I love that voice. Good too. Sorry.
Yeah, and like there's very few things that I get to like help with, and that Julia ultimately who's our narrative lead, ultimately made the decision for that. But like we had definitely like had earmarked. We're bringing Shura back, even though we ended up killing the character off. But
and then we did an episode over a screenshot of her lying dead. So that's how we felt about that.
Brutal. Sorry, I kind of sidetracked there.
No. That's all good. So you've been involved in so many seasons, and you've been with Bungie, had different roles and things. At your level now, being the creative lead, but you work with many teams, do you have like a favorite piece of it? Is it like the creation process? Is it when you start to finally kind of mesh out what the activities are? What are your favorite pieces of actually just making a season, since you've made so many? So
like my job evolves over the course of the calendar of the project, right? Every season goes from like a pitch through like kind of a pre-production, production, and post-production to launch, and then live support. And at the same time, we're supporting that. We're already like pitching and working on the next thing. So it's kind of like it was relay race, and then you've got another team over there, and we're doing this complicated dance. My main creative input is the pitch, because like that's where I go to Robbie Stevens, who's my lead, and our larger leadership group, Joe, everybody, and they're like, Tom, these are the goals. We want you to build a season about a hacker or something kind of like that. And like try to find a way to make that work in Destiny. Then I go to our narrative lead and our art director and other people, and then our designers. I'm like, what is a hacker in Destiny? And they're like, Tom, it's a splicer. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And like, how do we make this work with the plot? And like, they're like, oh, we're going to have this, we need to have something with this political story about the Fallen, and we're bringing these new factions in. It's going to be a changing world in Destiny, right? Like we want to evolve the story season over season, and then I have to kind of like figure out like, what's the threat this season like? And then someone was like, what if the power went out? And I'm like, what if it was an endless night? And it's kind of then trying to shop those ideas around and make them work and get feedback from people, and then basically boil that down into a big PowerPoint deck.
Yeah.
And make terrible designer concept art and get really good concept art from my art director. Figure out what the rewards are, what the activity structure is. Like, it's going to be a 6-player activity and like a 3-player activity. We usually build like a grind activity, and we build like a story activity for the season. And that's really where I'm spending the most time. But it's not me. I want to like make sure everyone knows like I'm just there to collect everyone's idea and make sure the best ideas survive and the worst ideas kind of get pushed out of the way. And a lot of the best ideas don't come from me. Like Presage did not come from leadership. And this season, like the season of the Haunted, the best idea, like some of the best ideas, like when we pitched this season, like it didn't have a scythe in it. I was like, it's going to be about Reapers, and everyone's like, what if we did a scythe? And I was like,
you're like,
like, duh, yes. So we're going to do that. And so it's really creative leads at Bungie and leaders at Bungie. The higher you go, the bigger the box that you're given. The bigger the challenge, and it's your job to break those into smaller pieces, and then go to the team and find the best ideas and like get really good at it, and then putting that into your design and leveling it up. So that's really my favorite part, is like working with the team and like getting their best ideas and bringing it all to you.
Now I just want to hear all the worst ideas. I want to do a whole
episode. I've never bad ideas all the time. Most of my ideas, my first pitch, it's like not that good.
So is there a memorable like bad idea that you could say?
Yeah, can we get one?
We get one bad idea.
I mean,
that could have happened.
If not, we get it. But yeah.
Let me see some bad ideas. I'm trying to think here. So there are often like bad ideas that we can turn into good ideas. Like we often want to do like Joe had a tweet about this other day. Like we want to do cute things and on an alpha, like we like try to get like something fun or memey in there. And like Star Horse is something I think that could have been bad. But like we initially when we were working on that for 30th, like I was talking to Luke and other people, like, what, we need a character for this, but we want it to be like fourth wall breaking and weird. But like what if it was the horse? and it seemed, and then for a while, like I even I took it out of the deck. I was like, maybe I don't want to put that in front of people. And then Luke was like, no, Tom, put it back in there. It's gonna be funny. And I was like, you're right about that. And then I went to Nick Artizone, who's our lead writer on that. And I was like, could you, what would it be like if the horse talked? And he's like, I got this, Tom. And he came back with the whole, like, what you see right now in the game show, right? Like, Zur says some dry line, then the Star Horse reacts, yeah. And then Zur reacts, which is like the classic. It's almost like Groot. It's like Groot, like from, and then I knew we had something good. But until then, I was like totally on the fence. And then with 30th, we had the game show fantasy, and that was the thing where like we didn't lean into it really hard. And after I got that back from Nick, it's like, okay, lean really hard into this. And that's where we ended up getting like the ridiculous quotes from like game shows that I hadn't even heard of, some of them. Yeah. So I guess that's probably the best example of like Star Horse was pretty weird.
Oh, this is amazing, so man. Yeah, so far. Yeah, I was just gonna say, just with all that, and we're talking narrative, and it's clear you guys are firing all cylinders. It's for me as a Destiny fan, it's really cool to see, because I've been criticized for loving this game for so long, and the joke was, how could you let this game? It has no story. Like, this is from like way back, for people who don't play the game consistently. But to their defense, at the time, the narrative wasn't where it is now. So to see it all come together now, Season of the Haunted, now we got these really deep emotional connection sever stories, right? That are really, really entrenched and getting deep. So like, I know you've explained like the process of how it works within the overall arching story, how you guys have to collaborate, almost like tune in next week, kind of a deal. But like, how is it to really focus now on these truly emotional bits with Sever and Season of the Haunted?
Yeah, I mean, with this, the narrative team really came in that they wanted to address the nightmares from Shadowkeep in a new and compelling way. And they wanted to do it through the lens of these characters that we'd grown attached to, like, the Zavala and Crow and Caiatl, and really be able to show new depth to those characters, right? Like, before this week, like, I don't know, there's like the Zavala stuff this past 2 weeks has been incredible, right? And I take no credit for any of that. Like, it's all the narrative team and their hard work. And I mean, I also want to say that, like, mental health is a real challenging space for all of us right now in the world, but even for this, most people have suffered some trauma in their life, so it is relatable in that way. And that, I think, the best stories are relatable and human. And the narrative team, I think there's some articles out right now that Robert Brooks kind of spoke to some of his own personal experiences of dealing with trauma, and I think a lot of the reason why it resonates and it's working is because people are really speaking from a place of experience there, and with a lot of care for these characters. And I think like that's really what excites me about being able to like kind of build a skeleton or a framework and for a season and hand it to our writers or to our designers or artists, because they can really be the ones to make these things sing.
Very cool, very cool. Feel it, man. Like I said, it's a pleasure every week, because I get excited. You log in on Reset, and it's like you see the little flash, and I go over to the helm. Okay, what's happening this week? The same thing with prior seasons. It's always been, especially the Sabathun season, I got to give credit to. Like, I love that. Like, I was uncomfortable visiting her. Cool kind of thing, because I wanted to know what manipulative thing she was going to say and who she was going to affect. So I thought that was interesting. But shout out to the entire team. You guys are killing it with the narrative.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Does the seasonal group are they also responsible for like stuff like the dungeon duality? Were you guys involved in duality, or is that sort of a separate team? Because I know raids are a separate team, and
we collaborate with them. So like when you can obviously look at the duality and the season, right? And they are kind of under the same creative space. They're under Leviathan, and that was something that our creative goals were trying to do. We wanted to tell a larger story, and our narrative staff was shared across that. So like you can see there's like Caiatl's and Zvala's and Crow's side of the story, and there's Callus's side of the story. But all the raids and dungeons are done by the raids and dungeon team, which internally we call RAD. So RAD, nice. Raid and Dungeon. So they're pretty rad.
That's a pretty cool name.
Pretty cool.
I mean, it's pretty cool. And they're amazing, right? They're great partners, and like being able to have like them delivering content like every season is just huge, I think, for players and for us, because like I still have some of my fondest memories of playing Destiny are still of getting my friends together and getting into like Vault of Glass and like guiding people through on their first time and getting my mythic classed like after like failing for hours and dying and like, oh, we're gonna quit. And so like they really are a great and incredible part.
Nice.
And just yeah,
That's nice.
Now I'm imagining the Raid and Dungeon team skateboarding into the Bungie office every day because they're the rad group. But now this is sort of new, which is raids and dungeons have stories now, which obviously impacts you and the seasonal team, especially since there's not only thematic overlap, but there's story overlap. So how do you guys parse things like working on mechanics and the games part of a dungeon with like the story? And because obviously the most recent raid is super story heavy and has huge implications on the future of Destiny's narrative. The current dungeon that we're dealing with ties a lot into the story of this season. So what is that collaboration like when you have to make gameplay and story kind of collide?
So Brian Frank spoke to us a bit last week, and I think there'll be some articles and press coming out this week, but like they start from like a really simple theme and like duality, like it's right in the name, right?
Sure.
Like, and like the two worlds, the two split spaces, and we've kind of done versions of that before, like Dreaming City and the Strike with the Corrupted Strike, where like we kind of went back and forth between one reality and another on the Ascendant plane. But like, what if we did it in a way that players had control? And like that was really the problem space that Brian had given to the team. Was like, what if we take this mechanic all the way? And they also worked with the narrative team to really like understand, like, okay, like if we're going in and out of it, like this place, what is it? Is it a nightmare? Like, yeah, that sounds like awesome. It's like just right in line with this theme of the season. And that's how they're kind of dipping their toes into what we were doing. And we were like, okay, you can do anything in the Leviathan, you can do anything with the Shadowkeep nightmares, or anything with the Presage stuff. And I think they did a pretty good job of like, you kind of start with the Presage vibe and then you work your way into the nightmare vibes. And then they told, because we have the shared narrative staff, the narrative team could really kind of like make it so like the seasonal story is contained and the dungeon story is contained, but together they tell a larger story. Like, so you don't have to experience one or the other, but if you do, you get a richer understanding of the world.
Awesome.
Good. Eddie.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of ask, is you take, say, like Witch Queen and Season of the Risen, you get a big expansion, you get a season that comes with those, and then you get the next following season. I wanted to ask you what it's like to decide, because in Destiny, there's always the joke of there's a lot of stories kind of up in the air with regards to how do you decide what to tell next? I mean, is it planned way far back, as you said, trying to make that through line? And just what is that like process to decide how is this story going to make it all the way through a year? How far do you step away from it? Because as you kind of decided, as you mentioned, you have the big blockbuster movie, and then you have the syndicated TV show, and then even in syndicated TV shows, you have like the filler episodes, which I would not calling a season that, but you have like, then you have like the big over arcs and stuff like that. So
true.
So it's like, how do you decide what story to tell and when? I guess that's the question I'm getting to.
Yeah, I mean, we have over the past few years, we've really built up the narrative organization in Destiny, and their leadership group is like kind of like steering. You know, like I think if we were to like refer to like, you know, the fact that we put the roadmap out for the next several annual releases, right? Like they have the plan. I don't always have the plan, but they have it, and they're working towards very specific goals and endpoints. And there are times in the season where it's like, oh, it would be cool, like if we picked up this thread. Or there are times where, like, I think if you look at Season of Haunted, you can say like, yeah, they wanted to bring certain characters back into the story. Like we wanted Callus and others to be part of what's going on this season, but they didn't say it needed to be in the Leviathan. They didn't need to say it needed to be with these characters. So there's a certain amount of it is like the leadership picks some like a bullet point list of things they would like, and like at a very high level, that's what the roadmap is. It's just a set of bullet pointed lists that like are goals and constraints, or just, you know, seeds of an idea. And then that goes to our leadership team and the leadership teams on the seasonal team or on the annual teams. And then we're like, what could those be? And then we work through our pitch and we hand it back up to them and we're like, is that okay? and they might be like, change those things. And then we after a few iterations, we get to a place where we're happy with it, and then we pitch it and we build it.
So you guys are the improv team, and you're getting suggestions from the audience, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I get a suggestion from the audience. All right, let's do a scene about that.
Because we here at the Warlock delegation would like to know if Osiris is going to get a bullet point one day. Because
oh boy,
oh my god,
you know, we just, you know, at some point, I guess I'm saying it just obviously I'm a big Warlock and a big Osiris fan, but my question is, are those, like you said, you almost like a submittal to the team, say, okay, this is what we're thinking about. These are characters we're thinking about using. Is there ever some push pull? But like, hey, we really would like to use this character.
I mean,
maybe the overarching TV series might say, hey, not yet. Final shape, y'all. We got some things we want to do, and we're not ready for you. Okay.
I mean, speaking for Julie a little bit here, but yeah, casting is always interesting because we only get so many voices, and then sometimes you can't get an actor, right? If you can't get an actor in because they get a movie or a TV show, like you have to change your cast up, and that changes everything. Yeah. And then like sometimes we want to kill a character off because we want to have stakes, so, like we did in season of the Splicer. And like that's a big deal, like to kill a character, and like so it often
or three full factions in your case.
Yeah, or three full factions. You can blame me. I'll take blame for that. The purple ball and drop pods, you can put those all on me too.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Now you can put a face to the blame. It's fine.
Yeah, and that.
Oh my lord!
In that season, the character he chose to kill was you. Your character, with the
every time a drop pod kills somebody, an angel doesn't get their wings, but maybe.
Yeah,
I guess I just drink your tears.
You got a bonus, I guess. You did it for the glimmer. So a question I have is, so in it, like most Bungie devs I've talked to, and I've had the pleasure of going to Bungie HQ a lot to do coverage. They are all Destiny players, which is a very weird experience because you see them in their PR hat, and then after the event, you go and you have a beer with them, and they're just like talking about how they got to go home and grind, which is kind of crazy, right? So. Everyone on this podcast, as well as every guest we've ever had, has had pet projects that we wish Destiny would just like take on. For example, my pet project is making a ranking system, ranked tiered system like Rocket League, putting that in comp. Hey, look, I'm just throwing it out there. I know you're not. I know you're not
Twitter
responsible
DMs
for it, but yeah, here you go.
He's like,
if you ever need me. So my question is, you're also a Destiny fan, which means I know you've got pet projects, things that you wish Destiny would add on. You know, COG, I think it's like adding SRL back in the game. I don't know. People all have these pet projects. What is your thing that you, just as a fan, wish that Bungie would just decide? You wish that a note would come from those higher ups that had a bullet point that said, go and work on this. You wish that it was that.
I think we already got the ones in that I wanted, like over the past few years, trying to get to a serial story, like over the week. That didn't all come from me, right? Like that came from our narrative group. It came from our leads. It came to like from us just like trying to like, can we actually build this? Like that's something I've been really happy about. There's things that as a hunter I want, but I can't get. So like I play hunter. No, I mean, so this is like, I love what our sandbox team is doing, but I played D1. I just remember Arcblade back in the day, and I like Voidblade and like Spectral Blades, and like that's cool. But just like I remember at a certain point in Taken King where I had like the Hopscotch Pilgrim and a shotgun and like another heavy weapon, and I had just like mastered that play style, and then Taken King came out and it all changed. And and also I've gotten older and I have like four boys now, and I just have never gotten that good again. So I need to like I still play a lot, but I wish I had the time to get back to play at that level again and understand the sandbox at that level. It's like working on a game for 10 years and playing it for 10 years. It's been crazy. Like I never thought I would do this. At all the other studios I worked at before Bungie, it was a year or two. And yeah.
Very
good. So Blade Dancer returning confirmed, listeners.
Yeah, he won back. He won Hunter's my blank.
He leaked it.
I mean, again, that's just me as a player from a long time ago.
Exactly.
I know. I'm joking.
Compartmentalization is key there. Yeah. Cog, you got one more?
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool to see the evolution, you know, and to see where you guys are going with this thing. And, you know, one thing that I find interesting, and me and Travis have talked about it, from the whole obviously we talked story, we talked about expansion, we talked about Savathun, and then we got Rolk and the Witness and stuff like that. And to know that there is that long-term plan, right? And to see where that thing is going. And I guess, like I said, the excitement is, for me particularly, has been with the seasonal model is where is it going to go next? What is the next major story beat? And I think it's just one of those things that, you know, we're excited with everything you guys are doing. I cannot wait to see where the story goes, to be honest. Like, that is literally, to be like, I tell people all the time that don't play Destiny, you know, Destiny's in its best place narratively right now. If you care about story, and if you care about character and development and where this thing is going, Crow, we need to hurry you up into the Hunter Van.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to hurry you up, Crow. But
He's got to earn it. He's got to earn it.
He does
Crow,
have to
come
earn
on
it.
now. He
got over his trauma. Now he's ready to earn it. Okay.
Right.
We got
But
that.
I will say I am very excited to see what you do with the future, but also specifically this season. I know Caiatl's coming, and that relationship, because you gave us some threads with duality. I love the relationship there as far as the Callus, Gaul, even say, hey, I spared your hand if it wasn't for your daughter. Like, I love these type of interactive bad. And the thing I want to give you guys credit while you're here is one of my major peeves, and E knows this, is that having the multiple characters interact with each other, multiple voice actors, that to me made the world seem more alive. You know, when I would do some of the battleground missions, and Saladin will be talking and Osiris will be talking like that. Now it feels like this world you created. So salute to the team and kudos on that, because I just feel like narratively you guys are really in the best place, and to see the progression of this game on that level has been good.
Yeah, quick.
But
Go ahead. I was just going to say quick before you go, because I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Favorite season that your team worked on, and favorite season that Vanguard Omega worked on?
Good one.
Let me see.
I mean,
30th was a blast.
There you go.
30th,
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Because it wasn't like a normal season. We got to just be wacky and weird, and the team really, I think all the teams, like everyone's sandbox, weapons, narrative, like everybody, like activity designers, they all brought their A game. It was incredible. And from Omega, like I still feel like Chosen was really good, and I know they're season 15 with Awoken was amazing, and I'm really excited about the next few ones they're working on too. Like that's another thing that's really interesting about like working on the seasons is like we only work on half over there, and I don't work on the annual stuff. So our whole team, like, we get to be just like y'all. Like, we get to be fans when the other releases are dropping. So like when season 18 comes out, I'm gonna be right there, like ready to play it. I barely know anything. It's awesome.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Real quick, are you gonna ask the raid question? Favorite raid? You know, we always do the tradition.
Oh, yeah, I guess that that's a fun way to end it. But I just wanted to say, first off, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, because I know we are running low on time, but it was an absolute pleasure having you. But as we always have a little bit of contention here, and you've been at Destiny and Bungie in the mix for a long time as a player, top 3 raids, can you rank 3?
I rank 3
For a full franchise, doesn't matter. D1 or D2.
Mm-hmm. We need to know.
My personal 3.
Yeah, this is your personal 3. Your personal. We'll judge you accordingly.
As a player, Dev is off the table right now.
Can I throw dungeons in there too? And just mix 3 at the top?
Why not?
I guess so. He kind of cheating though.
No, I'll do raids.
Because he did.
No, I mean,
we could do
it's
both.
tough.
We just did
like
dungeon discussion.
VOG is like probably just my all-time favorite, just because like the experiences that I had, and like it's more about the friends. Like I used to play with Pope Bear and a lot of other people in the community, and then like I think for me it was more. All the raids are amazing, but it was more about the people and the time.
Yes.
And like I played a ton of Vault of Glass and Crota's End and King's Fall with those friends. Those I wouldn't say those are all my favorite, but like VOG is in my top 3 for sure. I think Wrath is up there.
Good choice.
Wrath is so much fun.
Yeah.
Great, or Siege Engine, man. Siege Engine.
Yeah, and I think King's Fall would probably be 3 just for the scale of it. But it was really hard. I remember lots of like LFG groups breaking apart in that last fight.
That broke friendships.
It was really hard, but it was really good. And also that the T-Rex armor was just.
Oh
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. That's solid, man. So he got all those colors. We got VOG. We got E's got his You know, it's King's Fall.
King's
We
Fall,
got
they got Wrath of the
Red.
Machine, a fan
It's
favorite.
it's
D1.
basically my exact order. So
Yeah.
There you go.
The only one I would say in contention probably would be Last Wish could sneak in the mix with those three, but those three are strong, super strong. I like it. I'm convinced.
Well, from the from getting to know you a little bit, from kind of the questions that I sent you, and seeing where a lot of your inspiration has even come from, you know, you say Mario or Zelda, and this gets pulled from here and the other stuff. I know I'm very excited for what's to come in the future, and all I can say is when we see on Twitter that you guys scream Bungie all the time, that actually makes it really fun to follow a lot of you guys, because you all being extremely excited to work for the company that you work for, being excited for the future, and that's like code word of, I just saw this amazing thing and I can't say anything about it except scream the word Bungie.
NDA.
Yeah, that's what that means. Okay, that's the code word.
That's the next one that you get.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, that's the one that you get to scream out next time. Is NDA, Bungie. I think I'll say on behalf of everybody, it's like the stories that you guys have been telling, especially in the past couple of years. I even mentioned at one point, I was like, hey, can we get like an animated? And then these like, I don't know what to call them, the inkblot animated cutscenes, you know, like the one we just got with Zavala. Whatever.
Zavala.
I don't know
What do you guys call
what
those?
do you call those?
Yeah.
We call them like I guess either concept art cutscenes or digital art cinematics.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The stories, the seasons. You guys are in a place that is, I feel, running on just full steam ahead, and I think a lot of us can easily say that we're very excited to see where we're going, because after Witch Queen, Risen, now Haunted, hitting deep with the story cuts and everybody's crying on Twitter, I don't know what you're going to do to us next, but I'm not sure the emotions can go for it. But I will say Nightfall is, I don't know what you're going to do to us, but I think we're all very excited. So as I know we are kind of coming up on time with you, I wanted to give you a chance to step away. But before you go, do you have any words for anybody who listens to this, or just where to find you, or just, you know, if you want to drop the giant bomb of what you're working on? I know you can't do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Just tell us.
No, I mean, first of all, I want to say, like, I'm out here representing like hundreds of people that work at Destiny, at Bungie on Destiny, and like I'm really like super fortunate to be here and be able to represent the team. But like there's so many talented people that go into everything you get to play in Destiny, and I'm actually, you know, I'm so excited that all three of you are so passionate and excited about where we're going, and like we're excited too, obviously, and about the next few years. But like I know there's things too that. There's criticisms of the game too. I don't want to like print that everything's perfect in Destiny. Keep the feedback coming.
Yep.
Like we appreciate the community. Community's amazing. Like we're so lucky. Like I'm on Twitter if you want to find me. It's just Tom from the web, but I mostly just post shit posts and memes and and other stuff. Don't expect any news there. I'm definitely going to defer to our community and player support teams. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I'll be listening to you guys on your next few podcasts here for sure.
Appreciate you. Absolute pleasure, man. Shout out to you, the entire team. Obviously, we know it's a collective effort what you guys are doing. It's just fun to see the journey of this game. Obviously, you know, we're gonna give you guys credit, and we will criticize when need be, of course. You know what I'm saying? But we love the transparency and the fact that, you know, I always feel like it's okay to be critical as long as you're respectful and you have that discourse. And that's the main thing. And I want people to be clear there's a correct way to do it. And we really appreciate the time you and the team kind of gave us just to dig deeper into how the cake is made a little bit, you know. So salute you on that.
Cool.
And thank you, Travis, LordCognito, and Ebontis for having me. Thank you so much. I know like you taking your time out too to spend some time with this some game design guy with me. It's a lot of fun. We don't get to directly interact with the community like this all the time, so that's something we're celebrating.
It was absolutely our pleasure, and please pass along our thanks for your time to your family, of course, and send our thanks to the entire teams. Everybody over there at the studio is absolutely crushing it. We can't wait to see what's next. And biggest thing to everybody, criticism is real. Just keep it reasonable.
Exactly.
Nothing's perfect. We're all always trying to get better, but yeah, we're very thankful that you were able to come on and join us.
Yeah, next we need to talk to Vanguard Omega. That's our next season, right?
Yeah, we just gotta tap the other shoulder, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
cool.
All right,
awesome.
Guys,
Thanks, Tom.
I'm going to put a little pause here in the episode, so we will be right back for those of you that are live. So hang tight, and we will be back. All right, I think is mostly good. What's up, everybody? We should be back. You should be able to hear us. And I know we had a little break in the episode there, but we had to make sure and let Tom get out. So thank you guys all for being here for us for the show. If you guys are enjoying it, please make sure you drop some likes on the show. Thank you guys, chat, for being very nice and reasonable too. Good to see chat playing clean and nice with something like this. We want to make sure we can maybe try and do something like that again in the future. Yeah, so part 2 of the episode is now here. Tom has taken off to his evening. He's got life and stuff to get to, so we were able to steal a little bit of his time, so we thank you. Before we go touch on that one, though, we all just got back from GCX.
Yeah.
And somehow we did the dodgeball with the virus, but it does seem like it got a few people, so sorry.
I got food poisoning.
Oh, when?
Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Teddy got COVID, and he was my roommate, right? That thing. But my girlfriend and I, who were in the same room as him, did not get COVID. But Teddy and I both also got food poisoning because Florida is a hellscape. So Teddy got home with COVID and food poisoning. Yeah. We made the mistake of trying to eat pizza in Florida, which is just like, why would you ever try that? You know what's funny is I was standing in line and I said, Teddy.
Teddy said, I'm still dying in the chat.
Yeah, dude, he is for sure. Teddy, literally, Teddy was like, I'm gonna get pizza, and I looked at the pizza. I went over to the line with him. I was like, dude, that does not look edible. I'm going to sit this one out. And he was like, fine, I'm going to get a pizza by myself. And he got it by himself. I got a different, I got a sandwich or whatever. But then we get back up to the hotel room and I'm like, you know what? This pizza looks so terrible. I have to try it just out of morbid curiosity. And I tried one slice and I got food poisoning for like 2 days. It was brutal. Anyway, I'm never going to Florida again. That state can burn.
So if you guys didn't meet Travis on this trip, it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen.
Cog and I'll go back, but Travis, that may have been a one-time thing.
No, I will say that it was good to see y'all. It was so good to see
Alex Kilger's point in the comments. I'm used to my kale pizza here in San Francisco.
Yeah, cauliflower crust, kale pizza, crust, and olive oil, all that stuff.
Dude, literally, Teddy looked at the pizza and he was like, this looks really undercooked, and then he ate it anyway.
That is a classic Teddy invitation. That was classic. The pause, the eye went
really
down.
I got really good at my Teddy impression, spending that time with him.
Yo, shout out to everybody. First of all, shout out to y'all. It was so good to see y'all. Travis. You know what's funny? Dealing with Travis on a podcast, right? But in the flesh, it is extra. Like it is everything and more live. It is a live show every time I'm with this man. I just can't.
You guys don't even you can't wrap your head around what is Travis in real life. You get the podcast version. He tries not to get my channel demonetized, but
he's light.
You don't even know
the last word.
What this man does. For one, this intelligent human, because I know he's not dumb, wears suits in Florida and then complains about it being hot. That's your own damn fault. It's the only clothes he wears. I know, because I went in his room and he's like, look at the clothes I brought. Dress shirts, dress pants, suits. That was all that was in his closet. I'm pretty sure at that point his suitcase was empty.
That pin,
but he does have the inside lapel, not the lapel, the inside of the coat. It's embroidered with Tie-Guy Travis. That is for real. I have seen it multiple times now.
Salute. That was fun. Hilarious. And then obviously we got a chance to build it. Teddy said I can confirm he sleeps in the suit. I'm done.
Suit jammas. He's not lying. Suit jammas.
Salute to you, bro. And then it was funny. I gotta shout out some people. Again, shout out to the home. Shout out to the Destiny Bestie. We finally made that happen when everybody got a chance to meet DJ Oros, his fam, the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? ILP that pulled up, Alex back for dead. My boy Ty.
I was gonna say, since you mentioned DJ Oros.
Yes. So, talk about it.
Okay. So this is a hilarious thing that happened. I blame Cog for this completely. So Cog tells me DJ Oros is getting ready for COVID. Okay. And he's like, okay. And DJ's like, all right, well, I may not be in the best shape. And, none of us were. It's like working on it for next year. But he's like, hey, I'm going to have the best calves. And Cog's like, whoa.
Slow down, boy.
Yeah. So I was like, so Cog is like building me up. And I'm just like, I have no idea what this dude's calves look like, but all of a sudden I am entered into calf off before I even show up at GCX.
Hey, yo,
So
Chad,
then
it was
finally,
great.
finally we record episode 200, which I promise you is getting out there, but due to some editing and stuff that I've got to do, it's just going to take me a little while, and I've been trying to catch up on content. So it'll happen. You guys will just see it drop.
He just saved me. AKA Cog messed it up the recording badly.
I've just got to do some editing. It'll happen. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. There's
that episode was a nightmare. Don't post it. That's my
shout out to Sarko.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Shout out to Alex that was there. Shout out to everybody that was patient with my foolishness.
Exactly.
Thank you. Continue to
anyway, so we get all of 200 recorded Friday night, and we're waiting for all these people whose flights are getting delayed because everybody, like Physics, Amaze, they got there at like 12 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock, or whatever. But we're finally waiting, and then you tell me it's like, hey, DJ Oris is coming. So finally he gets in there. He comes into the bar, and I was like, hey, how's the hockey treating you? That was the first thing I said to him. He's like, are you seriously? That's what you're going to say to me? So that was hilarious. Then we do this little calf off, and you tell me that I was like, you judged, and you're like, okay, it was good. But you tell me.
Work out here. This is one of the most intense matchups I was looking forward to. You know, we had to see, you know, the reigning champion from Texas, you know, with calves the size of cows. We don't call them calves, what Ebontis has. You know what I mean? And then the up-and-comer. You know what I'm saying? And I know DJ Oris is outside. I've been in conventions with him. One of the most defined calves I've seen. So I was like, yo, it might be close. Now, initially, I said, I still got faith in my boy. E should pull it off. But it was closer than I thought. It was closer than I thought. I get, because he's like, but he ain't, like, the whole, this man is upset that he lost the calf off. He's like, but mine's more defined than his. And I'm like, bro, it's just, you lost. It's cool, but, you know, you can have that moral victory for yourself, and that's cool. Let's go get the drinks. And the whole trip, this man is having his wife take pictures of his calf from different angles. And it's like, you see, E, this is why he, and I'm like, yo, this is hilarious. But we had so much fun this trip, the foolishness, and then shout out to back for that.
Oh no, and then so what I wanted to wrap up with that was my wife probably had one of the better jokes of all afterwards was finally like, well, just let him know when you get home you're gonna start an only calves.
That was great.
And that's gonna be you know, some people I hear people have like foot fetishes, so maybe somebody out there has a calf fetish outside of like Lily from How I Met Your Mother. That's the only one I know of, but I thought that was hilarious. And apparently my ass is a shock absorber.
Yes.
And dude, Travis has to tell the story because all I knew is I'm sitting there. I was like, I got to meet Last Lady Legend, previous guest on the podcast. Really cool to chat. I'm literally middle of discussion with her. And then Travis, how did that? I don't even know the build up to this thing.
The build up is that I was talking to somebody and I noticed that Ebontis was standing in the distance. And he's super engrossed in a conversation with Lady Legend, who's been a friend of the show. Lady Legend, if you're here,
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. And I decided that I was going to slap his butt to say hello to him that morning. That was my how you doing thing. So I get behind him and I turn to all the people behind me because everybody sees I'm about to do it, and he's completely oblivious. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a show out of this. So I did this whole thing, like I'm just like warming up my hands. I went in with like a running start, swung my arm as far back as I could, and hit him. And I've done this many times, and you know, to other friends of mine, and usually you hit them, and it's just like this big cracking noise, and then they're like, "Oh," you know, like jumping around, and no noise came out of E at the moment of impact. It was like punching a memory foam mattress. It was unbelievable. It 100% absorbed the blow, and I hit his butt, and it like fought back. It like sent like a shockwave through my arm, and I was like, "Oh my god, that like hurt a lot."
I must have been leaning on that cheek or something. Who knows?
It was unbelievable, and everyone who was watching me was like, "Did he miss? Did he miss it?" There was no noise, and E didn't react at all. E kind of just turned around and was like,
"Is there a fly around here? What happened?"
Dude, it was like I tapped him on the shoulder. It was unbelievable. So. Not only does he win the calves contest, but that buttocks, man, it is
cheekage, major cheekage in
those cheeks, man. Those cheeks, they clap.
He's the master cheeks.
Master cheeks. He is master cheeks.
That is master cheeks right there, boy.
Oh,
yeah, that was so funny when you told the story. E's wife is
my wife came with me, and she'd been hanging out at the pool, but we all went to dinner, and then you're telling this half of the restaurant could probably hear this story, but my
Travis is not quiet, y'all.
No, by the way, Travis doesn't have an inside voice. He
There's
has the
no-
opposite of a library voice. It's like normal
His
is
game is always
5.
high.
Yeah, his normal is like everybody's like, hey, you're gonna have a conversation with somebody. That's like 5. He starts at 8. He begins all conversations at 8, and then it goes up, maybe to 11. Who knows? But my wife, well, she just was dying. She loved that story. She was laughing so hard.
Because she knows. She's
I mean, she's my wife, so.
She knows the cheek qualities. She knows about it.
All I can
Tell me
say
what
to
it's
everybody out there, don't skip leg day. There's a reason for
Okay.
that.
Man, the man's
Sure.
a veteran, man. But I do want to shout out, like I said, Back for Dead that pulled up.
Yes.
Had so much fun meeting him and his wife, the whole team. Like I said, my boy Ty. It's so cool to meet him in person. Logneck was in the building. A lot of great content. I finally got the chance to meet Cross. Glad it was there. Of course, CB Gray in the building.
Good
So
time.
Gray
cool.
is so nice.
Seriously,
My
but
God.
CB Great, for one, smile that's like, you look
Oh,
at him,
smile
he
is
smiles,
interesting.
and you're just
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm happy now. He's cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
just
like,
the
life is good when he's
nicest
smiling.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so we were talking to Tom before the show, and I mentioned to him, like, you know, I heard, and we heard from the floor people, that Bungie kind of had to commit a year ago. Middle of 2021, nobody's going to commit to do anything then, so it makes sense that they weren't there. But the key is, like, we missed them being there, but even though they weren't there, it did feel a little bit more chill. So when you bumped into somebody, you actually got a chance to talk to people. It had it had a different vibe on the floor. It was like you have a conversation. It's like, while, you know, it was kind of a building year for the conference, I got a chance to talk to a ton of people just very casually, which was really, really cool. Met so many people. I already got multiple guests that I'm going to work on getting on here.
Nice.
Yeah, like if you guys don't know him, J.O. Overrated. I think that's his Twitter, but his name's Joey. I know he and Fallout play a decent amount. And I didn't know this because I watched Fallout a good amount, but hadn't watched him, but I knew they played together and stuff like that. And I met him, and I'm sitting there going, and I tried really hard not to say it, but I was like, has anybody told you kind of look like Fallout? And he's like, dude, every day. Like, he hears that all the time, and he has like kind of a mustache going on, but he's actually trying to like curl the corners on it and stuff. So like, chatted with him. He's gonna be hilarious, I know. Big Daddy Tej that I got a chance to talk to. Bife is still a legend.
Oh,
No question.
Bife. Oh,
I know
yo,
you got a chance to bump into him.
Story.
Yeah.
This is what I do. You know, I got that moment, and you're like, "Yo, I can't. I'm somewhere now. I'm going places." So I'm sitting there, and it was like, because you landed. What was it? Wednesday? I came in
Wednesday night. You were Thursday morning.
Yeah, I was Thursday. So Thursday, I'm landed, whatever. So one of my friends, shout out to Dreadpool, who I didn't shout out. Dreadpool, who's in the state of Florida, he's like, hey, you guys gonna be there? I want to meet you. I'm like, cool. I'll come down from my room, meet you in the lobby. Shout out to the Leviathan lobby, the Castellum, the most glorious, outstanding. This place is amazing. But anyway, so I come down there. It's opulent. So I come down there, boom, talking to my boy Dreadpool, whatever. So in the distance, you know how you could tell someone's like waiting to talk to you, like in the distance. So I'm like, all right, whatever. If I don't turn around and it is my name is Bife, and he said it so cool. He was like, I was speaking to Ebontis, and I was like, where's Lord? He was like, is Lord here? And I was like, he's like, I have to talk to him. And I saw that had to be you, so I had to make sure we had our conversation. I was like, my man, Bife. Like, that made my whole trip. Just that body. He was waiting to talk to me. I was like, this is cool. I made it. I could die now. It was all good. We just talked about lore and everything that he's doing. It was so good to see him and catch up. Shout out to My Name is Bife. I had to tell the Bife story because, brother, you made my trip as soon as I started. So salute to the legend.
It's like, I first bumped it. I heard him and D Flawless, ultra nice dude. He was everywhere. He didn't say no to anything. We got him on 200. That's why I do want to try and edit it and get it up there. But dude was just everywhere, doing all the things.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I hung out with D Flawless that whole
all
weekend.
the time.
Like he was just with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Every place that was popping, D Flawless was there. Yep, facts.
But yeah, I was like, so, and then I heard him and Bife were sitting down having lunch, and I was like, Bife is here like on Thursday when nobody's here. It's like, I want to go. But then I see literally the two of them having lunch, and I was like, hey, just want to stop by and say hey. And of course, he would like let his food get cold if you sat there and talked to him long enough. So I had to bail on that one a little bit, but I got a chance to stop by. the booth. I was there Sunday morning. I went in and I got like third in line waiting for him to get to his booth, and I got a chance to talk to him. And between him, I know, was there almost nearly the whole time, talking to everybody, going through the lines. And you could always imagine like meeting a celebrity or something like that. It's like, and in Destiny celebrities, it's all relative, but being million subscribers and basically as big as they are, him and then Datto and Danielle, both of them, their lines were long, but the reason they were long, for one, people probably rotated through, but they had a full conversation with every single person. They were on their feet. They were killing him. If you saw Danielle's Twitter, she's like, I'm going to be a little late. I'm not sick. I'm just old. It's going to take the feet a little while. I saw them go barefoot. A lot of those people just stand there to meet people and say hello. And especially those two, it's a full conversation every time because you watch the person and a couple people in front of you go. So I just wanted to shout out those legends because they truly went the whole weekend. And I can honestly tell you, most gamers are probably half introverts, if not more. Most people are probably leaning introverts. So people of that, personality, meeting people constantly. You want to talk about people that are just drained after 2 days. There are some people who really thrive on social, and there are people who are somewhere in the middle, and there are people it's like social interaction is draining. I don't know where some of them fall, but I can tell you it's like at the end of it, everybody's wiped because they put in their time. I just wanted to shout those out because so many people, but yeah, CB Gray was there. Glad was there. You got to see good amount of G1. Advanced GG. They held down the middle of the party. So shout out to Advanced GG.
Powder. We had the powder in the building, baby. We was outside with the powder, Trav.
It's all good. But yeah, we actually got to see there was a 1v1 battle for G1. They had some 1v1s. That was actually pretty cool to watch. Some definitely legit players in there. Bumped into just so many people, but I just had fun. It was a lighter show, but I had fun talking to so many people.
Yes.
And Astrocross was the same way. He was having some good conversations, bumped into him. Just honestly, an ultra nice guy. All those guys were.
Yeah. Shout out to Amaze. Shout out to
Amaze. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't think of them all.
Amaze was
oh yeah, he was there too.
Ill Physics.
Cool. Host.
Oh, Ill Physics.
Tony.
Ill Physics is also super nice.
Yeah. So many, it's just you keep bumping into somebody else and it's like, and you meet multiple creators, and just it didn't stop. And that was kind of the fun part of the weekend was bumping into another person, getting to know them a little bit, chatting. But it was like honestly, just hanging out with you guys was a blast. That was probably the most fun.
That's the only reason I went. I don't really know any content creators. I don't talk to them. I'm kind of on the other side of it because you guys are actually content creators and I'm press.
But you make a butt ton of content. By the way,
I make a butt ton of content, but I'm not a content creator. Come on, I just sit here and talk to you guys and then I write reviews. So, but yeah, the cool part for me was meeting the people who watched this show. I met some people that watched the other show I'm on, Bitcast. I met lots of people who recognized me from Fireteam chat and didn't know I was doing this show. So it was cool to be like, yo, you should listen to Last Word. So that was cool. And then just meeting you guys. By the way, I just got to say this. If anybody has not met Ebontis and Cognito in person, these dudes look way different in person than they do on camera. On camera, we look like peers. In person, I look like their kid. They are huge. They are huge. They've got big square bodies and all of their parts are just big and round. just big round torsos, big round arms, big round.
Wait, are you calling me fat?
No, just like you guys are barrel-chested monsters. You're just big. You're big. And so they've got these Gears of War model characters as their thing. So they are no longer Ebontis and Cognito to me. To me, they are Marcus Phoenix and the Coltrane, and they always will be.
Marcus and Coltrane.
Marcus and Cole is what I'm going to call these two forever because they just were. They just walking around together. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Just walking around. It was crazy. I was like, these guys are huge. And they'd be like, all right, Travis, let me give you a hug, say goodbye. And I'm just like, Jesus, dude.
See, Travis is the guy like when you give him a hug, you got to be gentle, otherwise you feel like you're gonna you're gonna give him like a chiropractic session with like a hug, just like snap his back a little bit there.
It was unbelievable. It's like It's like hugging a sumo wrestler. These guys are just giant. And so anyway, the camera is deceptive. You say the camera adds 10 pounds. On them, it removes 50 pounds of muscle is what it does. They're huge. They're huge dudes.
He kept saying that, dude. He's like, bro, he's like, you are both of y'all way bigger in person. He both kept saying that. I was dying.
And
they're also tall. They're tall and big. It's, just nuts.
That is one of those things that you never know when you watch anybody stream a video, content creator, whatever. You never quite know how tall people are. You can get a gauge of like, apparently it's hard to gauge how.
EK is huge. I didn't know he was that tall.
Oh, EK is like 6'5". Absolutely. Yeah,
I was like,
EK is 6'5". One other guy was like 6'7". But I mean, CB Gray, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". I mean, he's lean, but you also meet some on the other side and you're like, hey, you're short. And it's like you see them kind of both sides because you never know. You just get to see usually about this much of the person.
That's true.
And camera's always deceiving. You'd be like, hey, but
hold on.
You know what? I wasn't surprised. Nobody was surprised by what I looked like. Everyone saw me and they were like, yep, he's that size. He's that skinny. Like, yep.
Travis is a pocket human. That's what
skinny little 5'8" dude.
Everybody. Hold on, I gotta shout out in the chat right now because this is a classic story. Warren D said, "Oh yeah, it was so fun crabbing in the back seat of a rental car with Clemson Nanu and Cognito on the way back for the Advanced GG event. Shout out to them. Shout out to DJ Oris and driving us all back. And it's like a clown car in the back.
Oh my god! It's like the Gears of War guys trying to drive a Mini Cooper or something. I can picture you guys.
Shout out to Warren D. Shout out to Clemson. Now, great guys. I felt like everywhere we went, they were there too, which was kind of funny. So salute to them. That was hilarious. That visual, no doubt.
No, that was fun. And that's the thing about the Leviathan. I actually told people that, and they kind of were like, that actually makes sense because Rosenshingle Creek as a resort has like 1,500 rooms, which is no small feat in and of itself. 3 pools, full golf course behind it. It's on this like acreage that they bought. But they were the smart person because in Florida in the summer or whatever weather you're going to have, you are air conditioned from your room all the way to the conference center, to the restaurants and the bars that are in between them and everything. And you never have to go outside because I know Tampa Fairgrounds, when we sweat all of everything that we have on our body off, like, we're just like trying to get in line and dying.
Curse you out. I almost wanted to curse you out. You made us cross the street to the burger spot. I was like, that short distance, I was almost drunk.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm walking my dogs right now in 80 degrees. I'm just like, so no, it's, but that place truly is unique. And they got the big piece of the conference hall this time. I just can't wait for next year. It's going to be August 4th and 5th next year. So you got like 14 months to plan for it.
Yes. Away from E3, please.
Thank you. It's like, that's actually pretty good spacing for any of your guys' coverage stuff. You should be completely safe there. Gamescom, you guys said, is like later. So that shouldn't be as much of an issue either. But I don't know if we'll get Travis back, but Cog and I know we'll be there.
Yeah. August I can do. Yeah, but it was tough because to Travis' defense, he's got to do coverage. We had the Xbox Bethesda conference that week, and there was a lot going on. So I'm just happy. What I'm saying, even if, like I said, Travis can't make it again, we've all got to meet and hang out and chill like a whole weekend, do everything together, eat, dinner, chill, bug out jokes.
Oh, speaking of eating, y'all suck. And by the way, I eat sauce, I eat seasoned food, I don't eat bland, boiled crap. Wow, thanks, guys.
I'll say this much. Florida is perfect for Ebontis' flavor palette. Let me just say that much.
Yes. And shout out to him for putting some actual
He did put sauce on one of his foods.
On some of the burritos.
It was a
enchilada?
A safe move.
Very safe. Very safe. But it was big. We all got
It was more than I expected.
We all stopped. The whole table got quiet and just looked and was like, what is he doing? Is he actually
I put sauce on my enchiladas? Yeah.
What?
There was like a glaze on a burger and I ate that. I had a cheeseburger over the weekend and blew people's minds. Like, yeah, that was the first night of dinner when there was a big enough group of us there. Flawless was there too. I swear he was everywhere. Yeah, that definitely was half the evening of what's going to be on your food. Oh, Travis, you would be proud. Before we left on Monday, because we stayed there an extra day and most people were trying to fly back. My wife and I hung outside. Shout out to Lupo and his wife, by the way, because they were out at the pool. I didn't want to bother them because they were just hanging out with a couple friends. He and his wife are adorable and cute as well. So that's always nice to see a couple like that also seem like they have some fun. But we were grabbing food at the bar. Bartender comes out and chatting with him for a little bit, and he grabs this like little Pedialyte packet because he was like trying to get like, just like throw something in his water or whatever. And Travis, to no surprise, guess what? I literally, while he was at the bar, he bought some focus on his phone.
He was moving that powder.
Because I had the hydration in my bag. I was like, dude, just try it. I literally gave him the tub. He's like, what? I was like, just try it. He threw it in the water and he was like, this is good. And he's like, how do I order it? He literally ordered it in front of me, and I got home the next day and checked the website. Sure enough, like literally ordered it in front of me. And I was just like, all right, Travis would be proud living up to it over here. So.
There you go. Moving that weight. There you go. No doubt, no doubt.
So did he use your code?
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow. Okay. Struck another blow against the Lords of Gaming and their 30% off code.
Look, man, we competed how we go.
Well, you're losing. You're losing, okay? He's out here pushing powder on the streets, okay? You're just tweeting codes. You're just tweeting codes. Yeah.
I'm out here knocking on doors.
Yeah, he's knocking on doors, standing on street corners.
Yo. I can't. Let me get the super chat. Shout out to MRI Gamer, $5 super chat. Seafood is so good around the Gulf. Get your life together, Travis. They want you to get your life together.
Yeah, my life's pretty together, and it's together enough to never go back to Florida. So I'm feeling that. No, to be fair, MRI Gamer, we were in Orlando. Okay, Orlando is beyond the pale, even for Florida. It's not great. So that I've been to Miami. There's some good food in Miami. This was not Miami. This was Orlando.
No, it was Orlando. When you get a chance, check Discord, sir. But other than that, yeah, man, I really enjoyed that. And then we really give Teddy enough love, though, Trav. Teddy, it was cool to hang out with Teddy Ted, man. It was just fun.
Teddy was dope.
He was dope. And one of the best, he was in rare form with his audio work and stuff like that. So salute to him on that. That was cool. I got a chance to hang out. Teddy actually went to a party with me, so that was actually pretty interesting.
I know, because his flight got canceled. And so he ended up going to the party with you guys. And I think that's where he got COVID, because I didn't get it and he did. So he was like, not worth it. Not worth going to an extra party, getting hella sick. So
to be honest, I was nervous I did get it too, because that last day, I missed when you left. Because I think I was just recording all day.
You were.
I was completely locked out of social media. But when his flight got delayed, canceled, and then he's leaving on my day, and then we hung out that whole night together. Then we Ubered together to the airport. So I'm like, oh, I bought mine. I'm like, oh, I got it. But I was like, listen, for Teddy, he's worth it. I was like, Teddy's member. He gave me the big heart. I was like, nah, I'll take that. I was shocked. I thought for sure. But yeah, so it is what it is. But like I said, I had a great time, y'all, with everybody that pulled up. You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
Cool.
But yeah, man. So we got that, and I know he's working behind the scene. Did you get a chance to read this TWAB, Trav?
I did. Yeah, and I'll just say before we go into the TWAB, since we were blessed to have Tom on today.
Yes.
I just want to say, that's super awesome. And also, by the way, is not a common thing in the games industry. So, say what you will about Bungie and, some of their content that you don't like, or, their business practices if you don't like the content involved. But it is a super rarefied thing for a developer to just say, yeah, go and talk to 3 fans of the game that run a weekly YouTube show. And just talk to them about what you do in game design and do that for 30 minutes. That is is dope. That is super cool. And it's why I think people have such a close relationship with Destiny, because they feel like they're part of the community and they're part of something that is unique and incredible. And it's also why Bungie gets so much praise, rightfully so, for its community management. Its community management is second to none. So good. So it's awesome, man. And I want to give the shout out to Bungie for letting Tom do that and come on our show and talk to us 3 nerds, and also a shout out to Ebontis for coordinating and making that happen. And always pushing to make sure we get guests every week. So
yeah, shout out to E, man. I want to give him his flowers live too, because obviously, before you came on, Trav, and it was being him, and I had more of a responsibility than my responsibilities picked up, and I just couldn't do as much. But You know, he has really put his fingerprint on the show, and he makes life easier for us. So salute to you, you know, for making that happen. This is tremendous. Like Travis, you're absolutely 100% right. As far as the Bungie thing, I'm super proud because at the end of the day, you know, that's a big deal. You know, to trust this platform, to come on the campfire, and to know, you know, nothing crazy is going to happen. But at the same time, you know, to say, hey, these guys are worth our time, you know, and we definitely shout out to the whole team. That is rare, and we truly, truly do appreciate that. So salute to E and Bungie at the same time.
That's right.
I mean, and that's, yeah, thank you guys both. I mean, happy to have all of you guys show up live in chat, keeping us going, all the views, all the listens, everywhere you guys find this podcast. Believe me, we appreciate every time you guys comment on the show, say hello, you're live in chat, you listen, just see the numbers and everything for all of you guys listening to us. You help make it happen. And getting someone like Tom to join us on the show was something we've both wanted. I know Cog and I know Travis, you've interviewed people, but for me, especially on my scale, it's something that's literally one of my first, you know, dev interviews. I know Cog's had a ton of those on Iron Lord's podcast, but I mean, it's a show about Destiny. We actually get one of the developers on there, and the fact that, you know, you guys were very cool in chat, everything went well. It's just like, I mean, thank you guys for all of that, and just doing my best over here. That's all I'm trying to do.
No, you do anything, brother. You do anything. I would be remiss if we didn't shout out Sky Lewin, who we did have on.
Oh, absolutely.
Audio to give give Bungie their and composer, to give them their flowers on music, because you know I'll be on the front line for that.
You'll die on that sword.
Oh yeah, I still think they should get nominated every year. They should be in the running for these soundtracks that they do. So salute to them as well. Shout out to MRI Gamer, got you with the $5 super chat. Also, great get with the Bungie Dev Ebontis, and much success to all the guys.
You MRI, appreciate the double super chats, big time.
Great.
Before we get to the TWAB, do you guys play the story this week?
Yeah, I did.
So I know we get
my boy Zavala, who's another Bungie person I've interviewed. If you consider him a Bungie person,
yeah, you got to talk.
Remember that?
If we can get Lance Riddick on here, I'm gonna have trouble maintaining.
All we got to do is wait for him. This is how Fireteam Chat got him.
Let's go.
You just got to wait for him to start making the press tour for whatever show or movie he's promoting. Because that was Bosch, but whatever that Amazon show is, he was promoting like a Bosch, the new season of that, and then he was like, "Yeah, taking press requests," and we were like, "Let's get him on." So, just wait for him to be in a show or something. You probably got him.
Man, do it. That'll be dope.
But anyway, he's the subject of this week's story.
Yes,
indeed.
Yes,
speaking of,
indeed.
So, what'd you guys think? Spoilers, by the way. Spoiler. If you haven't played it, spoilers.
If you haven't played this week's episode, the Zavala Part 2 situation.
I love that idea for episode 200, the lost word.
The lost word. I
That's
like
what it
that.
should be.
I like that.
Because that should never see the light of day.
I'm going to have to listen to that whole thing before it goes out.
Because look, worst case scenario, that is not episode 200, and this episode is.
Yeah,
Bungie Dev, worst case scenario. There are worse things. Anyway.
We'll see. Yeah. Audio only may definitely happen.
Yeah, you got that. We got that option.
Audio only, you'll thank me later.
Thank me later. Okay. Shout out to Teddy for making checking out the audio.
Yeah. We got phase 2 of Zavala dealing with everything we got last week, and I'm kind of getting this first week of NPCs, grief, shame, those two those hit pretty hard. Seeing, hearing Crow just actually scream at Aldrin the first time he went through. And then we got our eyes completely opened about Zavala and Safi, is that her name?
Yeah.
And last week it was getting to see he nearly gave it all up. And we got to see him completely go through all of that, and then with what he lost, and then finally kind of come back and how he was with Shax and everything all together. It's been, I feel like the build up of the first week, I don't know if they almost set the bar so high that the second week doesn't quite hit it. Like the resolution for Crow almost felt like it came a little easy. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but does that make... Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to say that in words.
No, I know where you're going.
Like Zavala, people are crying on Twitter last week when Zavala gets it. And then this week, you don't see as much of the reaction because it's the resolution. It's like up and down. It's like a very quick roller coaster. It's not
Mhm.
the loops and twists and anything in between.
We get it. Okay, I see
yeah,
what you're
it's
doing.
Well, I also think that they kind of dropped most of their content that first week because we got a whole unique cutscene that explained the backstory that up until that point had been exclusively told in the extended lore, never really truly canonized in Destiny proper. And so I do think it seems like they put more work in the setup, and then the resolution kind of feels inevitable. But
Yeah.
with the Crow one, I feel like hit harder for me because the Crow resolution had been set up for a long time.
Yes, I agree.
Zavala kind of felt like it came out of nowhere to me. Like it was
Okay.
like, oh wow, I didn't know any of this about Zavala. Cool. And then, all right, well, it's already resolved. Whereas Crow, we knew he was struggling with that for a long time. And so it felt they hit a little differently for me.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you on good point with Crow, because obviously the history that's been going on longer. For me, Zavala's initial was strong because I loved the storyboard setup. I loved seeing the relationship, behind the wall, so to speak, with Saladin and him kind of breaking away to do this relationship kind of thing, knowing about the son, Hakeem, all that stuff was interesting to me. But I'm with you, Travis. Like, the resolution may have been a little too quick for my tastes. You know what I'm saying? But I thought overall the story, the message that was conveyed, I was cool with it. I just felt like the resolution came a little quick. And maybe it's because the cadence is back to back, and maybe that's what it is. And I feel like I'm getting it too fast. It's just a little bit. I do feel, but I will say this. I am looking forward to what's going to happen with Caiatl. Like, to me, because the end of this was interesting. To way she was talking to him, to absolve his stuff, and you've been through the mental thing. But I feel like she's holding on to something. I'm very curious to see narratively where they go with her. Like we was telling Tom when Tom was here. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think what you're saying, there is some validity there with the quickness of the resolution of the sever. And I don't know if maybe we just got it too fast, and maybe it should have been another week between with something else. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like I'm saying the storytelling is bad, because they're
Right.
getting so kind of a lot of what's going on inside of Crow's head. It's a really cool way to visualize it, as we discussed before. Zavala, we actually get to see his backstory and him having to face his painful demon that he's been basically suppressing for a very long period of time.
Yes.
And then it's like, it's cool to see that. And again, they do have to have this cadence of, here's the major issue, and then it has to be some kind of resolution to take that nightmare and turn it into a memory that's going to be able to be used by Eris. My curiosity is going to be Caiatl.
Yes.
Caiatl and Callus, I think, has potential to be big because we have an odd number of weeks. We have 3. We have 2 that you expect if you get the same cadence, and maybe it's just the 3 memories, then you get the clean separation. But is that how it's going to go?
Will it be Caiatl and Callus? Or will it be Caiatl and Gaul?
Gaul. I think it's kind of Gaul.
That's true.
I think some demon she has with Gaul, because we saw Gaul's nightmare.
I think she was his Gaul friend.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I like that. That was fire. I like that. Because he was selected. He was the, the story with Red One. And I got to remember it. He was the runt that kind of worked his way up the ladder, then became like the most dominant clad, of all that. Then he was selected by, what's your man? I like the other Cabal that was like, he was making Gaul the protege. Right.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But the whole
From Red
thing,
War, I can't remember.
I forget his name now, but the whole thing was kind of orchestrated. Like I said, I love that, the Midnight Coup. I love perfect weapon name. You know what I'm saying? Like, by all of them to get Callus out of there. So Caiatl's role in that and the relationship, what does she have guilt for? Or what's, because it's shame for Crow, grief for Zavala. Do we know what the third name is? The third, emotion?
Thirstiness.
She is thirsty, though. Can we?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
She thirsty. Is it B-Trav? But
is she thirsty for Zavala?
Bro,
for sure.
Sure for Zavala.
No, the things on her face
it's actually listed in. It's probably listed in the triumphs.
Rage. They say rage. The guy said rage. But here's the thing.
No, it's thirstiness, guys. Her tusks aren't the only thing that's horny. Okay.
Oh my god!
All I'm saying is,
I'm glad this part of the episode is
Right.
gonna get beeped out.
But you're right. Yo, she be shooting her shot with Vala. Like every
Well, for
even
sure.
after
It's an interesting like love/respect between her and Zavala. That's what I'm saying. There's
it's
like
one-sided, bro.
I think she wants a drink of the blue milk. That's
Yeah,
all I gotta say.
She ready to be woke.
oh my
She
god.
Woke with the
does.
awoken.
She wants to wake up with the awoken. I think that's what she wants to do.
I
Yeah,
can't.
for sure. And that's, dude. It's even
Sleepover in
more.
Zavala's office.
It's even more obvious in the lore snippets.
Yes.
You guys read those?
Oh, I
read
those.
those.
Are
She is extra.
for sure, dude.
What?
She's dropping mad hints.
Mad.
Yeah.
And he act like he act like he don't hear it. He just
He knows it.
He knows
Oh,
it
for sure.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Cabal don't have a word for surrender or subtlety with their advances.
Oh, it's straight business.
But I mean, but like
all
in
business.
fairness to Zavala, like he's been repressing so much. Do you ever feel like if he can finally get some type of peace and closure and move forward from Safi, that he can? I don't know how that relationship would work though. That's so weird. She's like 9'6" or whatever, or however tall she
Yeah.
is.
Remember when you hugged me?
That's the kind of
It's gonna be
I'm Zavala.
Gears of
I'm
War.
Zavala. Yeah.
Fire girl.
Oh my god.
There you go. That's how it's gonna work.
That's how that goes. It is cool though, and this is again why like for Tom coming on, it's like he said it too. He even mentioned about season 10, like the storytelling, the building of the lore, and the characters, like seeing Caiatl continue to be used, and because she is like kind of a fan favorite, she's got this thing going on with Zavala. Like there are certain characters that they built up so well, and it's people who we didn't know of for the longest time, and then bam, here's Caiatl, and all of a sudden we got weird lore with Zavala and Caiatl, question marks of what's going on. No, it's very cool to see a character like Caiatl. You guys joke about the way you are, but I was like, this was like a character of an enemy race. It's insane to all of a sudden see now that we know this much about them. We get to see Valis Forge. We get, we get to see Lord Saladin just absolutely kick everybody's butt up there. Seeing this type of stuff is why I'm so excited for the story. I'm trying not to pay attention to chat, so we're just gonna.
I see Clemson Nanu said everything we were thinking, and yeah, it's true. The only way to forge a lasting peace is by joining the families, Ebontis.
There you go.
The only thing. Have you learned nothing from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it's like I got that part from it.
So
She got those calves, son.
she got those calves. She does.
Caiatl got them calves. She
Caiatl's
lit.
got
Right.
those only calves. Yeah,
Yeah,
Only calves.
it's gonna be. That's where you guys will find my pictures.
I am worried about her though. I am worried about because I really like the character. I want to know who the voice actress is.
I thought it was a little out of character because that whole season, last season, was it last season?
Risen.
Yeah, last season they were building up the whole like friendship and a kind of like a little maybe a romance between Caiatl and Zavala, and then Zavala almost like ices her to protect Crow, and I was like, that kind of felt a little out of character for me. I was like, I don't know, Zavala, I don't think you like Crow that much. Like you probably.
But I mean, he always seems to do everything for the Vanguard. He's
Bros before hoes, yeah, for sure.
The Heisman did it.
Very strong on that policy. Yeah.
Did it with the Heisman, yeah. Nah, I feel you. You said
no, it's been a fun journey with the story and the lore and the characters that we're seeing. But I think the next couple of weeks are going to be the ones that I'm most excited. I mean, Zavala's was shout out to, I know, like Hazel Montfort on Twitter. She was the writer who the Zavala piece, that was her first thing that she got in the game. So shout out to that one. I want to see what comes next.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought of one more.
Oh god, I was like, I can't even talk because
I'm
Travis
sorry,
is over here
one more.
He's about to bust.
I thought of one more, and it's the worst one.
Oh, okay, everybody. If children are listening, turn off the headphones for like 5 seconds or mute this. Go.
If Zavala and Caiatl kiss, does that mean that Zavala has Cabals in his mouth?
I can't with him. Okay, trust me, y'all. It's even more extra. In
I don't
person.
know, man.
This is the light version.
I got nothing. I'm just.
He's messy. He's messy. Poor E. He's like, there you go to monetization.
Like, I look back at, oh, how much did I make on this? 0. Oh, that's sad.
0. Oh.
Wonder why.
Wow, the chat is out of
Okay,
control.
chat is y'all are fun. But truly though, like this is the one. Caiatl has been this through line for a little while.
Yes.
I know we did Season of Lost with Savathun, which had to build into Witch Queen, but we had Chosen before that one, and then we had Risen, and now Caiatl's still in this one, and she's going to be the culmination of this season. She seems to be a very important character, and I think, as you said,
Yes.
I don't want something to happen, but I feel like as we're building this relationship with her, something might, or she's going to have that like moment with her facing off. Her facing Gaul is going to be probably coming to peace with whatever happened there, but her and Callus have to come face to face at some point. That has to happen. Now, I don't know if that's him as a witness and part of the story of Nightfall or something, but Caiatl and Callus have to meet, and I want to see that cinematic because I'm going to lose my mind.
My only problem with it being Caiatl and Callus is Callus is supposed to be the main kind of bad guy avatar, so it feels like we would be getting to the final boss too early in the season, you know, because we still have one more season after the 2 that are supposed to be Caiatl.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting there yet. I just mean like somewhere in like the next year. That's where I feel that's going to happen.
Oh, I get what you're saying, Richard.
Yeah.
The other thing about it being Caiatl and Callus in the next 2 weeks is I don't think Callus would be that intimidating as a floating nightmare.
Right.
Yeah. But Gaul would be.
Gaul fits.
Gaul would be.
Gaul fits as
so that's my only, because I don't imagine this like floating pumpkin being super scary.
Yeah.
They've already hinted that it was Gaul. When we watched the opening cinematic, it was Gaul behind her, and they gave the ominous music. And
there you go.
Yeah, future seasons, something.
I think it's fair.
But that means Caiatl's got to keep this thing going. So we're going to be on this journey to see who Caiatl faces, and we're going to be standing right next to her. And I want to see like Zavala. Can you imagine if Zavala like took one for Caiatl and like sacrificed himself? Like if something crazy happened, man, I don't know. I wasn't joking.
They can't kill Zavala. They'll never kill him.
That would hit way too hard. But
yeah, I think
not in a season.
No,
if he dies, it's going to be an
expansion.
Bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like Lightfall, something happens. Caiatl's like getting ready to face off just like that type of moment would be an interesting thing to see him actually show that type of commitment to Caiatl. That would kind of give all the stuff you guys are talking about. That'd be an interesting buildup. All I know. Like, I was like, I just wasn't joking when I told Tom. I was just saying, I'm excited to see where the story goes. And I think, as you guys are saying, it's some of the best, like every Tuesday. All right, it's going to happen this week. It's always a ton of fun. Schwab is real light. Zone Control has timers on it. And this season or this weekend, Zone Control is in trials. Next week, Crucible Labs is going to be Zone Control. Everything else is patch notes, art, and movies.
Yep.
Schwab is real light.
Pretty light TWAB, guys. Pretty light TWAB.
I did
a good week of Destiny, though. I thought.
Yeah.
When is the second Iron Banner? Because I got to do the
July
Iron
2nd.
You gotta get
July
your
2nd.
Lord title. Gotta get your Lord.
Of course, it's on the July weekend.
July 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. July 4th.
Oh, see, that's what I was worried about. Yep, that's what I said. I grinded the hell out of that thing.
Mm.
Wait, I'm not the only Iron Lord.
It didn't happen for me. I was too focused on
Teddy got it. Teddy got it. I was busy with summer games, dude. Game Fest.
I can finally tell y'all something that I did to that. It's
casuals. How dare you?
I can finally boast about something I have on both of you. You both are savage. So yes.
1v1 me.
We ain't doing that. So yes.
Okay.
We actually should do some goofy things like that. A little 1v1 matches between us. That could be kind of a fun, goofy moment.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is solo flawless duality. That's done.
Ooh.
So you were saying?
Okay. No, where's your Iron Lord title, sir? Oh,
I'll have it in July. Are you going to have your solo flawless?
You working on it? Okay.
Yeah. Are you working on that solo flawless duality?
Next question, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
I soloed it. Not flawless.
Nice.
No doubt, no
Yeah,
doubt.
I had like 4 triumphs pop because I hadn't actually finished the solo without being like kicked to orbit yet. So it was solo, flawless, like all of those at the
I
same
gotta
time.
beat duality myself. I can't tell.
You haven't even done it yet, dude. I'll totally run
Yeah,
it with
I
you.
know I've done it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I need to do it over now because when I started it, we got to the end and then we lost someone. I had to get to go, but I would love to do that with you because I need it and I want to start farming the I didn't know the grenade launcher. Even though I got a good roll with
Stasis?
button, I got blinding grenades in Vorpal, which is solid, but it can run blinding grenade and chill clip.
Yeah.
So you can slow the whole thing and freeze them on impact. And you could literally get blinding grenades, chill clip, and auto loading holster. Tell me, but I wish that weapon was craftable though. But yeah, I gotta get in.
So
there,
I did want to ask you guys, you can farm the dungeon over and over and over. But this whole moment where you've got the Epicurean, which comes from the dungeon, which is craftable. Fixed odds is craftable, but they're from the dungeon. But then on the other side, you've got 4 weapons that specifically aren't. Is that weird to anybody else but me?
Not really. I don't think every weapon should be craftable.
But like in the same activity, though, it'd be like half the raid weapons being craftable and half of them not. Yeah,
you should get a sampling of them, I think. I think it kind of depends on one, like, do you need it to be craftable? Because a lot of the raid weapons are pretty god tier if you craft the right version. So, like, are people really going to be like champing at the bit for that specific weapon to be craftable? I'm very glad that the linear fusion rifle is craftable because if that weren't craftable, I'd be like,
what the
dude,
raid
it's
one?
so good.
The raid one? Or
oh my,
Storm
no, the
Chaser?
dungeon.
That's
the
not
dungeon.
craftable,
isn't it?
No,
I got red frames.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a fake out. Yep.
Yeah, that's for the neutral element.
On this. Yep. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be able to craft this. And then I look at patterns. And
you were saying, like, Travis.
Yeah, trust me, bro. I feel you.
Oh my god! Why did they put the red frames on it? I thought that meant it was craftable.
Same.
I'm so pissed.
That's the same reason you can get a red frame. You can get a red frame. What's the Vault Glass hand cannon?
Okay.
No,
well,
I'm with Trav. I feel that's a fake out.
If you put a red frame on it, that should be a signal.
You can get a red frame on literally anything.
Yes.
Is that real?
Yes. You can get Fatebringer. You can get a red frame Fatebringer. Doesn't mean you can craft one.
I'm committing seppuku tonight. I'm doing it.
He was in there putting mad work on that resonance. He thought he was doing something.
I put 3, dude. I put 3 storm chasers.
Oh, yo, so oh no. I feel you, bro.
Somebody's like, the slow realization is priceless.
Fuck. I feel you. You like, yo, all I gotta do is 2 more.
We just lost Travis.
We lost Travis.
Seppuku. It's over.
This is about as good as when he found out about transmog material.
Oh, hey, that's been somewhat simplified at least. Oh no, transmog. I was thinking of crafting.
Yeah, I gotta get in there though. Let me know, E. We gotta set it up. I need that. I need that dungeon. I need duality done.
It's fun. Yeah, it's at this point. I will tell anybody who runs duality, if you're looking to run it solo, you're looking to run it flawless. Either one of those, obviously, don't practice it first. It's gonna take you plenty of tries because I had plenty of deaths. But this season, if you've ever wanted to check the box for triumphs for soloing or solo flawlessing, lots of things, lost sectors, dungeons, things of that nature, the classy restoration mod, and a healing grenade. Well, and a healing grenade that anyone has access to now. You have the ability to keep yourself alive so frequently that it's actually really, really hard
to die.
It's hard to die. You can die, trust me. It's like that. Yeah. But even in like a master lost sector I was working on one day, and it's like, it's tedious, but I will tell you, it's like, you will survive. You just may not output the biggest DPS, but you will be able to survive. So if you can understand the mechanics and figure those out, then it's just an endurance run because you'll be a little slower, but you should be able to survive. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that mod is so good.
Yeah, and I know we talked about you refuse to use it in PvE. I mean, that's fine. If somebody's trying to solo flawless it though, that's where I'm gonna point them at least to help.
Shout out to the Mufu.
Yeah, met him at there as well.
Oh, salute.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's a good weapon pool. It's a good weapon pool for sure.
The SMG, man, I was just goofing around a little PvP just for like pinnacles though.
Nasty.
That thing feels good. I like that
Yes,
SMG.
I love 750s are always good. It's just the only issue with them is stability. But I heard that one is sick.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why. I love the look of the dungeon weapons. They nailed those. Absolutely. And that's one of those like a weapon designer. So I was like, yeah, believe me, I have a dream list of all the people I'd love to interview at Bungie. But yeah, like the weapon designers, when they come up with something like that, I'm going, damn.
We got to get some weapon designers on. They like duality weapons are amazing. And then even like I said, I don't like now we're gonna get them some. We got to be critical. Vow Disciple armor. We're gonna have a talk of that team. But
no, that's
Vow
one
Disciple
of those
weapons.
Yes,
I like.
I love the
Armor.
weapon.
For the Titans, anyway.
Oh yeah, you guys like yours.
Titans
Well,
armor's pretty
like,
decent.
That one I would want to understand because I sit there and I look at it. I'm like, you could shade it up, but it's like I want to know why when you look around the entire pyramid, and then we get this like kind of darkish green with like a kind of darkish red, like, and then all the little tentacles and stuff. I'm like, can you just explain where the color scheme comes from, where all the like the moving pieces? That's like I would love to understand the journey because I know there's a reason for some of that. Sometimes not just like random colors go. So I would love to understand why, but the art is Rolk's fashion. Yeah, it's like it's their twist on Rolk.
Yeah, we should have looked like Rolk at the end. Like, give us the red, give us that.
Yeah, and that's again, that would be an interesting thing to wonder. It's like, when you see somebody like Zolmak is always my example, and you see, hey, can I get dungeon armor that looks like that? They don't even have that in Eververse, which is like a good example to ask, but that's always kind of an interesting one to wonder. Are you limited in the design? Is there a reason for a switch? That was the Moon aesthetic at the time, so they went that way, but it was interesting. Yeah, Twab's Ultralight. I know we got to interview Tom.
Yeah.
What else are you guys up to this season?
Pretty much it for me. Like I said, once I get that done, there's a couple of bucket list items I have to do just to finish off. I never got Parasite.
The grenade launcher?
I never got it. I got to get that done.
Did you do that? Have you done the quest at all?
Every time I was going to start it, then I got sidetracked and I helped somebody with Dead Messenger. And we did Dead Messenger, and then we did the catalyst for Dead Messenger. And I forgot. I never got my Parasite.
I think you're going to really enjoy the lore and the worm, because you haven't done the quest at all, have you?
And I avoided all spoilers purposely.
Just go do that one, because it's actually a fun quest to listen to. Like, yeah, definitely, turn up the dialogue for that one is all I'll say. It's a fun one for sure.
No doubt. What about you, Trav? What you got?
I'm trying to catch up with my catalysts. I think I'm only missing 3. I'm missing Telesto just because I haven't gotten the catalyst to drop yet, so that's just a matter of time. I'm missing the Trespasser because I haven't finished the quest yet. And then the last one is Vox Obscura, Dead Messenger.
Yeah.
So that one I've been trying to get my friends to do, but my friends all suck, including Teddy, and they will not do it with me. So
I got the number one guy. He in the chat. He was in the chat. Sinister could solo that.
Oh no, I don't want to play with Sinister. He's a toxic person.
He's toxic.
What's he solo and master over there?
Yeah, he's a beast. He like I was just there for the ride. I'm like, all right, bro. We got that done. But Teddy told you.
He's getting called.
Okay,
out.
Teddy has been telling me that he'll do it with me for like 3 months. So his word has no stock anymore.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Art Shadow. I don't have yet though. The new.
Y'all got Jotun Catalyst done.
I did get the Catalyst. Yo, what's up, Aries? How you doing, man? I got the Catalyst. I haven't done it yet. I need to.
Yeah, it's nice. The cornered up close, and then the incandescent extra flame. It really leads into 3.0. It's nice.
That's one of those though. As soon as you see what they can do with like incandescent, you kind of want most of the exotics to lean into that a little more. And that's just one of those I hope they do over time, kind of add those things to.
I wish I was a sniper. Sorry.
No, what? Go ahead.
No, I just said I wish I was a sniper. I keep getting in beloved god rolls with incandescent, and I'm like, damn, I don't even snipe like that. Somebody could use that. Meanwhile, with other stuff, but yeah, I'm always getting that roll for some reason.
And apparently, enhanced incandescent got buffed. So if you can craft,
Oh.
I finally am. I'm gonna be able to craft my first. I get the Callus mini tool. I got that
Yeah,
one.
I need that.
I just got that craftable frame unlocked. I'm on like level 2, so that one I'll be shooting guys with for a while. That gun, now granted, I don't know how it is on controller, but mouse and keyboard for a 900, man, that thing is fun to use. Is it good for you too?
Yeah, it's literally the same.
Was it good for you?
I know. I said that out loud. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I know.
Travis is not gonna let that go. Yeah.
Travis ain't
Nope,
let that go.
that's not going over his head. That is definitely caught and fired back.
It's in the same family as what's my joint? The void one. The funnel web. It's funnel web family. 900. I love 900s. 900s feel good. So
yeah, Callus mini tool is legit. I think I just got that one craftable. That one actually is craftable.
Terrible roll.
That one I know because I crafted it.
There's DJ. We were talking.
DJ has low standards though. He's just happy to be a part of it. Really. He has no quality standards. Come on.
Quality standard.
He's a hunter. None of them do.
Well, he's a part-time warlock on Tuesday.
Is he? Well, that's even worse.
He's a part-time warlock. Salute to the man with the calves out there, defined.
Second best.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't say it loud. I'm gonna have to hear
That's
it.
all right. 2023. I'll be working out until then, so then we'll be good to go. Yeah, no, it's like I literally have my first crafted weapon of the season. I feel like that's been. I haven't been farming and looping, the opulent chests and stuff, which is generally the way to do it. Is just the chests seem to be the way.
I get them. Sorry.
No, I got some from Nightmare, some from the opulent chests, probably some from the Sever when you go. Well, Nightmare Containment, Sever, and then the opulent keys seem to be the way I tend to get them to drop.
Weird how often he's saying opulent chests.
Yeah.
Anybody else feel that? I feel that.
Opulent chests is where you get it from. I always get it from the last chest in containment. Yeah. I feel like it's a good farm for me, like because for whatever reason I used to do the witch queen stuff to try to get them, and I would never get it. And then I do containment, and like here you go, here's what you want. I'm like, all right, it's a good. At least it's a good farm for that. So, it is what it is.
I can't believe I can't craft Storm Chaser. I'm livid. So upset.
We broke Travis this episode.
I had 4 or 3. I had 3 done. Oh my god.
Oh damn! And they gave you that many too. Damn.
So if you would
I was kind of farming it. I was trying to get deep sight on it.
If you would like to know what you can craft,
I know there's a collection. I just didn't look. I just assumed it's a good weapon. I know where to look. I just didn't. Yeah.
But that's why I asked the question. Is it weird that some are and aren't craftable? And now we come back after this realization.
Here's the thing. I feel like if you get deep sight on it, that should be craftable. But I didn't know you could get deep sight on any. I keep getting deep sight on the same ones. Maybe that's just my luck because I kept seeing Callus Mini Tool and Storm Chaser. I was like, okay, these are all the ones I want to craft. So, I did not know that. It's upsetting. It's upsetting.
Mm-hmm. And you've been
I just looked at my inventory and I have one with Frenzy and a couple decent rolls. So I'm gonna.
Mine haven't been that great so far, so I definitely need to farm that one.
I wish I got it once.
Well, you need to do the dungeon first, you casual. Jesus.
Yeah, I just keep it, but at least I got the grenade launcher. But yeah, I'll get in there.
Yeah.
I'll get in there.
Well,
who wants to do the dungeon after this? Should we run it together?
After I eat them now.
All right, so 3 hours after this show, when Cog's done eating his 30,000 calories to
get Phoenix up
to keep his coal train going.
You gotta watch my macros, bro.
He's got to shovel that coal into the furnace of his stomach.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it. I'm down. Look at Teddy. Teddy's ready. Look at the dungeon. I saw Teddy on last night. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, I want to talk to you, but I got to get this stuff done before
we there you go. You guys run with Teddy. He's got a checkpoint. You'll be done in no time.
Oh. We got the first boss check.
First boss, you can farm all 3.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
Honestly, I've run
I'm
that thing
down.
solo so many times, except maybe the opening one. You can farm that thing so quick now.
Ooh.
One, ooh, ah,
Yeah.
ooh, ah.
He's in demand.
Only at Mattress Giant. Please tell me somebody knows that.
I don't. I think that's a local radio commercial.
I know it
You
is.
just
I
quoted,
100%
yeah.
is
Why
local.
would I know that, dude?
But if
I don't-
anybody else has ever heard that, yeah, that would be hilarious.
I know all the Bay Area commercials. Jingles. Yeah.
Well, do we wrap this thing up here?
I think
Yeah,
that's it. This has been a great
Yeah.
episode. It's like
Yeah.
coming home, stepping in a warm bath. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Nice.
Aries, yes. Had a blast at GCX. I had Tom on at the start of the
Yes.
show, and then we were just like ripping on each other for about the last hour. Mostly, at least.
Yeah.
We had to get our unprofessionalism out after being
Yes.
a professional for 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Be like, all right, game face off. And man, did it play. So, yeah, chat. You guys have all been amazing. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know we got a little off. Thank you for the 100 likes on the episode. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for the super chats, MRI Gamer, dropping both of them. And all of you guys in chat being here, all of you for 200 plus. The lost word is where that sits. I will dig it out. I will post it eventually. It's just one of those I got to see what it looks like. And I will probably upload Tom separately for this one as well. It may be like a bonus for audio. And then like for your channel as well. I'll talk to you about that afterwards. But you may see a bonus for the audio if you listen to him there.
Cool.
But yeah, what do you guys got coming up? Are you guys insanely excited or let down by anything in the Xbox show? Any hot takes there? Even though I've listened to most of yours, Cog, already. So I know most of what you got.
I defer to Trav there. I didn't talk about that
Yeah.
thing so many times.
Yeah, I've talked about it a bunch of times too. You can check out my thoughts on Bitcast. I talked about it there, but yeah, I thought it was a decent show. I think they showed some of their games too early, but I love the strategy of only showing shows in the next 12 months, and I love the strategy of only showing gameplay. I sort of hate the whole giant blockbuster announcements that are just a logo and then we don't see the game for 7 years, because
Metroid
that's
Prime
how,
4.
sir. Are you trying to get Beyond Good and Evil 2? Because that's how you get Beyond Good and Evil 2, is you show the trailer way too early. So I like their strategy. I'm interested to see more gameplay of their stuff. I don't think they should have showed some of the games that were delayed that clearly still need work and that they felt like they showed them anyway. But I did like the games they had to show, and I'm excited for all of them, really. I like Jeff Keighley's show. I felt like it was really terribly paced, and there was a really weird commercial by The Rock in there. But yeah, Devolver Digital was good. All those shows were cool. So I'm excited for stuff. I also, are we doing personal pitches and stuff
absolutely.
first?
Of course.
I played some of the games that were in these shows, so I got early access to some of them. So if your eye was caught, the Jeff Keighley show, Midnight Fight Express,
I have that demo downloaded right now.
Yeah, so I have played that entire game, and it is a lot of fun, and you can read my impressions and watch a video preview I did for it on IGN.com. Really, really cool game. Also, I think since the last time we had a show, I did a review for Super Mario Strikers.
Yep.
Battle League, I think it's called. So you can read that online as well. My next review is unknown. Actually, don't have a review right now, but I have a couple previews and other stuff for games that haven't been announced yet coming out down the road. So you can find all that on IGN.com. Watch Bitcast on Sundays. Follow me on Twitter at TagGuyTravis. And yeah, it's fun to be back, man. I'm glad most of my traveling for the year's done, because I hate traveling. So
yeah, you're done.
that's great. As you could tell, I complained that entire trip. I was so annoying.
You did.
But yeah.
Salute. Yeah, man, for me, same old stuff. I would highly recommend, if you guys can. I rarely ask, but we had a interview with Interior Night, the developers for As Dusk Falls. So it's kind of like an in-person event. Went out there to check them out, me and Solve. Got the interview up on the channel right now. So it's actually a cool little formula. I mean, I am a sucker for like those Telltale style narrative type games. Yeah. And this is in that vein. However, what surprised me, you can play it as a cooperative multiplayer aspect of it. The whole game can be played that way. And I think it's going to do well in a party atmosphere for people who are actually non-gamers as well. You can play it with controller, through phone, xCloud. And it's really simple, and the story is really good. It's a ton of writing, ton of narrative choices. I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasant surprise. I think they may have something there. So check that out. That is up on Iron Lord Podcast YouTube. And then, of course, Defining Duke. Me and Maddie got the impressions up of the Xbox show. You want to check that out. We just recorded the show and talking about the whole Fallout 5 situation, Todd Howard's comments, Starfields, that's the big rage now. What is Starfield? Everybody has a lot of takes there, so come check it out. You'll find out some very interesting habits by Maddie, so go watch that. For there's another debate we got going on. The man's a savage, but I love him.
Defining Duke.
The latest one. There's
what did I
some
miss? I feel like
there's some bathroom etiquette.
I feel like I listened to most of that. What did I miss?
Top probably go to the section. It's called "Let It Hang Out."
Oh dear God, that pretty well covers it.
Go to that section and go judge Maddie accordingly. So we got that, and then ILP this Sunday should be a big one. We'll just do our aftermath show now that we've had time to settle.
Are any knees on the line here? By the way, I never know if you guys go that big.
No knees on the line, but I think Addict's gonna have a lot to say because I need to watch. I guess this Square show. And apparently the Square show happened today, and Crisis Core
happened like literally not too long before the show started.
Yeah, so I got to catch up on that and see what's going on. But yeah, man, support that, and it was good seeing you boys. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the trip. Definitely, you guys made the trip for sure. Salute to DJ. Salute to everybody in the chat that pulled up. And
shout out to DJ Oris, long-time listener, first-time caller. #leg day.
Yes, #leg day. The most defined in 2022. Didn't get the title, but he got the most defined.
You guys know me, so I'm going to be working on basically a how-to solo guide for Duality that will post on Monday. You guys hear this one and I get it actually posted, that one's going to have a little sponsor, so feel free to give that an extra view. But share that one because that's going to be hopefully the guide for any loadout, not the exotics I've been using, so I'll be working on that one. I did finish my solo Duality Flawless run. I'll figure out when I'm going to post that one up. And then I want to play some of these demos if I can get some time in because there's like 3 that I want to play.
I got a Naraka demo too. I want to try.
Oh, Nakara Blade Point or whatever it's called. Nakara.
Yep.
That Wulong.
That game looks cool.
That looks good. That was Souls-like. Of course, I'm gonna look at that one. So
make us a Bloodborne on that.
Yeah, produce a Bloodborne I heard, and then also it's from Team Ninja who did Neo. And both of those games were excellent. So if it can be Souls-like and not Demon, if it's not Devil May Cry and if it's more Souls, I'm golden.
So this is the problem with the current meta when it comes to conferences is only the games that show flashy trailers and no gameplay get people excited, and the games that show gameplay, they're always like, I was underwhelmed. Yeah, because you were expecting a big flashy trailer like you've been seeing at every single conference, and people don't understand what is good for them. They're like, they want their junk food, but they should be taking their medicine. And this is the problem with conferences: is people like the stuff that they shouldn't like, and then are underwhelmed by this.
Yeah, me and Maddie had a good talk about what you just said.
Defining Duke may hate me for this one, but I'm looking to Forza. Looking forward to Forza.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that game looks sick.
No, since Motorsport 3. That's been my racing sim. I miss racing like my friend's Ghost and stuff. Like you take like when it's a spec car on one track and you're trying to shave off like milliseconds versus your friend's Ghost online. That's the stuff I miss, and that's what Forza Horizon didn't have. Forza looked amazing. And there was it was a big arcade, and it's just like when I can start learning. I'm looking forward to that.
I gave it its flowers after the show. I said I know I've slandered, and it's just selfish cog because I'm Horizon.
Yeah.
But I was like, bro, it looked super impressive. And ray tracing in game.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
I mean, and GT botched every microtransaction and pricing they probably could. So I was like, I tried that at my brother's house when I visited him, and I kept thinking, I was like, do I get my simulation due? And then I saw that this is finally coming. I'm like, wait, because they botched that thing too hard.
I'm with you.
The one thing I will say, if God of War can drop 11-11, I'm just gonna have a ball.
I hate to break it to you.
What?
You think so? What you think? No? Delay? Yes? Well, give me the inside. Give us the inside.
That game's getting delayed. I hate to break it to you.
I keep seeing different things.
I know. Well, there were people saying that it was coming out in November, and then a lot of those same people recanted and were like, actually, I'm hearing that maybe it isn't going this year.
2023 is going to be dumb then, because Why? Why? The first half of 2023 is going to have
The
everything.
reason why is because we had a 2-year delay from COVID because it's like movies all got held up the year of COVID because it doesn't take a ton of time to release a movie, but the theaters had to be open, and video games had like a delayed reaction because they were able to finish their games, but now we're really feeling the effects of that COVID couple 18 months or so. So
yeah, I swear February 2023 is the same as last year. I'm just gonna cry because
it's gonna be worse.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, some of those games will get delayed again, but there's going to be some big games that were supposed to come out this year that are going to come out in the early half of next year, which is going to be nuts.
Well, Callisto Protocol will be fun in October, so that if that makes it. But yeah, Dead Space 2 and then Dead Space 1. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. Somehow managed to have like a 2-hour show, even though got an interview on the front of it. So this will split and probably get released in 2 pieces. I'm going to have to figure out how to edit this one out. But for sure, the interview for audio, I'm going to talk with Cog how he wants it on his channel. But for all of you guys out there, thank you very much for listening. Thank you here for being for this episode and supporting us getting Tom on here. If you see anything on Twitter, love all of his posts for a little while. Show the love to him for jumping on here, because for him to take time out of his day, jump onto our podcast is huge. So wanted to make sure and send him massive thank you for that one. But yeah, gentlemen, we're wrapping it up. So episode number 202 won't have a palindrome for a little while. But thank you guys. Thank you, chat. And thank you, my co-hosts. Great to meet you guys. Great to crush Travis in our arms.
I had Travis in our arms. Our little Travis.
I'm just going to get a backpack for Travis and be like, hop in next time.
Yeah, it looked like that in the picture he took where he did like, it was like the progression. And he said, that's how he bullied his way.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
I do have a Yoda-ish like quality. It's true. Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Back in his young loudmouth days.
For everybody, thank you guys. Another great episode. And this episode has been The Last Word.
The Last Word.